Welcome to Podcast with Smart, brought to you by Start with Smart. I'm Shana, your host, and I'm joined by company owners Scott Simpson and Scott Dunn. Join us as we uncover the world of smart home automation and security. Whether you're a homeowner or a business, Podcast with Smart has the tips and trends you need to make your homes and businesses smarter and safer. Let's get to it, shall we? Let's talk a bit about the customer journey and how you two had the pleasure of meeting each other.
So I think I first met you at BNI.
Yes, because I subbed for Els, I think it was.
Yeah. I think we had a bit of a chat there, and that was the first time I think the first time I discussed security for Hugs was with you. I think.
Yeah.
And we sort of had a bit of a conversation about it, and conversations sort of materialised from there. Spoke to Els about it over the coming months, and we sort of got involved with each other then.
Yeah, really, I mean, I will be carte blanche honest here. I was not geared into CCTV or security for us at all. I thought, no, waste of money, rubbish, don't need to worry about it. Not at all.
About £1 for every time I heard that, I wouldn't need a security business.
And then, exactly. And that's the thing. The difference of dealing with you, and I was honest from the outset saying, right, well, we need this. But you came back with the honest response as well, which for me made the difference. And then I was able to sort of help sort of guide and build as you were then bringing in everything else.
But it's not always clear that somebody has a requirement for security, really. And
yeah.
That's part of the process, is to just start conversations and explore different ideas. I know you had again, like you said, a bit of you were reserved a little bit about whether you needed it or not. And I think the unfortunate truth is you are having thefts and things go missing in the shop, aren't you?
Yeah, and I mean, being the retailer of 30 plus years, I knew it was going on. But you don't realise the who, what, when, where, and why.
Yeah.
And sadly, the great relationship of working with you has shown us the bad side of some of the things that we do.
Because it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop.
Not
happening,
at
does
all.
it? It still happens. Hence why you've caught some things on the systems you have already, right?
Yeah.
But the value is understanding what's happening, when it's happening, and who it's happening with. I think is what we sort of discussed through our initial conversations. That's what really come through. I think. Wasn't it? The fact that it will give you that sort of visibility.
Yeah, and it's the who is doing it is probably the bigger opener for us, because it is the ones that are the regulars. It is the ones that are the nicest. It is the ones that are, involved. We've got
bit sweet, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And not that we're getting hit every day for hundreds and thousands of pounds, but it is the cliche of, oh my God, not for a charity. Yeah, but just because we don't have products that we buy and mark up X, Y, Z to get the profit and the logistics and everything like that covered into the cost, we still have a cost base that we have to meet with the balance of the right price from the donor to the sale at the end. That if people are then taking those products away from us, we won't survive. And so being able to see through the physical screen and being able to enhance our protection by being able to say, we've got CCTV now. We have bin divers at 2:30 on a Friday morning going through our bins, looking through our rubbish and leaving
mess
an absolute thing that we've got to come in the next morning and clear up.
Yeah.
They're going through our bins, so you could stop them by locking it and that, but then they'll just break the lock, which is more added cost.
Yeah.
But having the ability to be able to then capture the number plate, because of the quality of the system we've got, we can then report that to that, and they might not get done for taking stuff out of our bin, but they'll get done for littering.
Yeah.
And there's an ends to a means.
And over a period of time, you can build a case. I mean, I like to think that there's an element of a deterrent with these sort of things. I know you still have these incidents occurring, and yes, you can see them, which is great. But I'd like to think, and there's no way of measuring this, obviously, but I'd like to think since you've had that system, perhaps that's happened less frequently, because a lot of people that were perhaps taking things or doing things they shouldn't be doing in and around your stores are probably aware now that the CCTV is there, because they're very easy to see.
Yeah.
And it's very apparent that you're on video when you're in the store now.
Yeah, exactly. And it gives the team that aren't as aware, or maybe not as paranoid as 30 plus years in retail makes you, you get to a point where they get to see the reality. So it means that they will engage from a service point of view quicker, because it's not just the dodgy bloke that walks in looking like he's ready to rob a bank. He's not the one that we need to worry about. It's the person that you don't suspect, that if they're not aware of it, they will just let them go by and say good morning to them, whereas they know that everybody needs to be aware and everybody needs to be floating around, and you've got to keep your heads up doing a job.
So do you think in a way then that this system sort of it's sort of raised the level of vigilance between you and the staff then?
Yeah.
In terms of looking out for it.
Yeah, and I think it's twofold for me. The protection that it gives us means any kind of antisocial issue that we might get in the shop or in the unit or in and around, because we've got external areas covered, that is limited because people know that we're there watching. The protection that we've got with people inside the shop, that if something happened, then we've got it covered.
Yeah.
The second side is it gives me the security to know that my staff and volunteers are safe, because if something happened, it's on camera and we can pass it to the relevant authorities.
Yeah.
And it does give an element as well that we have got people that want to come in and work weird and wonderful shifts, and they're covered because they're monitored.
Yeah.
And we can not watch them while they work, but as in the fact that safe, if someone safe and everything's we have all the relevant policies in order, but actually if someone gets in at 7 o'clock in the morning, because that's them getting in to enable them to be able to start their day, then they're secure. We know.
Yeah, you can do that about the worry now.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice. I didn't imagine it would be used in that way, to be honest.
Yeah, but I think the relationship that we've built has been through my reservation and saying, what can you do that can help me day to day? But then also, where does that protect me as well? So out the back door, we've now caught people going through the bins, causing people. We've yet to do anything with the Sunday afternoon. Oh, well, the shop's not open, so we'll leave it out the back door. And it's pouring down with rain, and that Fabergé egg gets either stolen or the Louis Vuitton suit that they've dropped outside for us gets absolutely soaked through, and it's of no use whatsoever.
I suppose the only answer to that is open on a Sunday.
Shush. That is edited out. That is definitely edited out.
I've been lobbying for that.
No. You can stop that. Hashtag no. No. It gives us the ability to be able to cover everything, and we've had it in now 6 months.
Yeah, something about that.
Yeah, 6 months, and we're only just noticing that we need to do some tweaks, because we've used it and we've tweaked it when we first had it, but we're now looking at saying, oh, okay, well, maybe that's not somewhere we need to cover that area. We need to open up that way, or we need to turn it this way.
Yeah.
And, we are. And
setting into the system now.
Yeah. We've got the ability now to be able to say, okay, this evidence or timeline has given us the ability to say, front door's covered, that's fine. Back door's covered, that's fine. What are we looking at internally? And maybe it's okay, we just turn it around, see what we find from here, and then it's another learning curve. But the ability with the products that you manage to get for us gives us that, because the quality of the recording, the ease of use of the system out the back, and also the ease of change. I could, to a certain extent, do it myself, but why when you've got Scott number one that can do it for us?
Yeah, exactly. The champion.
The champion.
The champion of all Scots.
Exactly.
I believe they've said before.
Yeah.
Someone
they have said. Yeah.
But you've also got another system, haven't you, that we put in, which is the intruder alarm.
Yes.
Which is like the silent protector in the background that doesn't have any of the exciting features of CCTV. Has a few useful sort of new age tech sort of things, doesn't it? Like app control from the phone and easy set and unset with the fobs. But it doesn't really do the same level of insight as a CCTV system will.
The ability to be able to have the app control means that if we can get access to the store, you don't have to have all the gubbins. I can sit at home and, for example, Laura, our new fundraiser, she's going to need to have access to the shop on different days. And if we don't have the immediate element of a fob and she needs access and we can get her a key, then
you can manage that.
I can manage that on there, and you can do it, and it's great.
One of the biggest things we sort of champion as a business is that self-monitoring, which is what you are sort of describing there.
Yeah.
You're able to manage and monitor the security and the coming and goings of your shop with the systems we put in place for you.
Yeah, exactly. And years ago, we had, when I was working for other companies, there was a 2-level activation with the alarm that the police said, well, if 2 location hadn't been activated, then it could have been just a piece of POS falling.
Yeah.
Whereas now, the live cameras that are there, if something goes off,
check the camera straight away.
Up we go. There we are. Oh, right. Yeah. No, the grandfather clock's fallen over or something. And it's brilliant. I don't have to put staff at risk of going and turning up when they don't know what's going on. Inevitably, no disrespect intended, the police will not turn up immediately.
No.
So if I'm sending somebody there, I've got to make sure that there's 2 people. And if I know already that it's caused because the grandfather clock has fallen over,
you're not worried.
Then there's an element of cover that's already there, and my staff will go in and they will do what they need to do. So it's brilliant.
2 very different systems, but they work nicely.
Exactly. Together. Yeah. And I think, the conversations we've had and the deals that you've been able to bring with your suppliers in have meant that we have got that perfect sort of mix of security, safety, reassurance, and all the other buzzwords about having a CCTV and camera and alarm system. It's great for us.
The words you put into the sales pitch.
Okay.
That feels salesy. All of those things, like peace of mind. And,
yes.
And sometimes it can be met with resistance, like you're just trying to sell someone a dream. But what we do find in the feedback you're giving today and the feedback we get all over the place is that once these systems are in, it does exactly that, which is good. And that's why we stand behind these things. But,
I think the other side of it is, and without trying to blow your trumpet too much.
No, you carry on, mate.
Scott numbers 1 and 2 have both come in and helped the situation with the engagement of us in there. And every now and then it will give us something that we go, oh, that just tweaked in the back of my head. What about this? And it gives us the ability, and either one of you two are off the other end of the phone, and we can discuss things live and click and do and move. And it's given us the ability to learn and use it properly. Because a lot of these times, and in previous companies, they've been in,
see you later.
And it's either the installation's happened and it's gone, and then the manager then at 2:30 in the afternoon goes, "Where's that gone?" And they don't know how they can do it. Whereas the ability that we've got is we know that the live system is easy to work with. The passive system, the overnight CCTV and alarm, is great and it's there. But the two together mean that we've got a much, much more easy to work with and almost perfect system that every day is a benefit to us. So
great to hear. But I did hear the word almost there, so we'll have to
we'll
have to get to the bottom of that and try and get that perfection.
But that's you can never if you hit perfection, you've got nowhere else to go.
That's true. That's true.
Whereas as we use it, and this might sound cheesy, but as we use it, we always do that extra bit of learning. And as I said, we've got 6 months worth of footage, and without sitting there and going over those 6 months, we can say, actually, we've changed the layout in the unit, we've changed the layout in the shop, and you should never change a layout for security reasons, but you use the security footage to enhance what you're doing. So you don't purposely block somebody's view to something that if you did it because it might work commercially, it might be an absolute nightmare from a security perspective. But you learn and you see and you move it and actually, that's okay. And we've done it in the unit. We've got almost full coverage.
Yeah, brilliant. Sounds like you are flying with it.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
It's not on autopilot yet.
So obviously we've got Christmas coming up, and with Christmas we always hope people will shop small and shop charitable and things like that. What can the community do to help you, not just around Christmas time, but in general?
Continue to support us with donations. We're open for donations at the unit only. And that's because we don't have the capacity at the shop on the Broadway to accept. The price of shop floor space is so expensive that we have to be as economical and as efficient as possible. So all donations to come down Monday to Saturday, 9 to 5 to the unit. Bring down whatever you want, whenever you do, because we'll take it at the back door.
It works better there as well. I think to the Broadway, you've got to park. You'd struggle to park to drop stuff off anyway. At Sugar Mill, you can. It's like a drive-through, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just drive in, dump it off,
exactly,
and you're back out on the main road again. So much easier. It makes complete sense.
And we'll take everything because we've got links to various different organisations and people that will either help us through services themselves, or we help because we can't make anything from it. So rather than it go to landfill or just into recycling, we move it to somebody that can actually make a difference with it as well. But the continuation of supporting us is what I would want for Christmas. And tell everybody what you've just said. We are Monday to Saturday, 9 to 5. We are trying to be as efficient as possible, and it is very limited what we don't take. But just to come down, keep supporting us, pop into the 2 shops, and see what we've got on offer. Because I think as the charity has grown over the last 2 years, not everybody realises the variety of stuff that we have in. As I said, the living form of Tetris that we have every day. we can go from. I've walked in this morning and there's a beautiful sanded bureau with a roll top that's got beach new handles on the drawers, and it is gorgeous. And then we've got the Ab Master, which if anybody has seen Andy on the Hugs page yesterday doing, it is the weirdest form of up down exercise bike come something. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous, but that's available at the unit.
I might be a customer for that. My abs need some work, I must admit.
But I thought,
as I grow older,
you were in that. Yes, I'll take these with me today.
Thanks, mate. You did me a big favour.
I thought you were going for that Buddha rub the belly, good luck, good fortune element.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that,
what Scott too said.
Cross Phil Mitchell, sort of
Yeah,
lovable East End
just need to
geezer.
get the ground going a bit.
Yeah. Thanks, mate. You got my back.
No problem. Yeah.
That pretty much wraps everything up. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Thank you for everything that you've done through. I don't know if any of your people that help with the supply, we
managed to. When we got to the point of understanding that you wanted to sort of move forward with getting some of these systems in your shops, one of the first things we did was reach out to a couple of our suppliers. So we use lots of different manufacturers of equipment, but we champion really two. One of them being CCTV for Hikvision for CCTV, and the other one being Texacom for intruder alarms. So one of the first things we did was reach out to those manufacturers and we asked them if they could support us with the project that was ahead. And Texacom, the intruder alarm manufacturer, come back to us straight away and they said, "Yep, have what you need."
Yep.
And they donated absolutely every piece of equipment we needed for your intruder alarms in both premises, and we had the delivery of that within like a week of asking. It was absolutely amazing. And then we went to Hikvision, but unfortunately they didn't have any donations available. They had allocated all of their yearly donations for the equipment. So what we did is we went to the top tier distributors of their products, and we have a few of these that we talk to. And we have one company in particular that we use. Their staff are great. They're a brilliant supplier, and they're called All Trade. So we went to them and we asked the question, and they said, "Look, we can't give it all away, but we can give you, we can give you the cameras and we can give you the bases, and you've got to buy some of the other stuff." But absolutely amazing that they were able to support us.
Yes,
because
indeed.
Not being the manufacturer, as a top tier supplier of the product, they still had a cost associated to them in supplying us that equipment. Which would have been more than if the manufacturer did, for example. So shout out to them. They were absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and I think that now that it's in place, yes, we had a much more efficient bill and it was far more cost effective than it would normally be. However, going forward, working with you guys has shown that, okay, new store number 3 comes with this, and a CCTV intruder alarm system, because
that's great. You see the value.
It's part of the budgeting that we'll do for the next shop and ongoing. But being able to have that generosity meant that we were able to trial it, because it may not have worked. But actually, it's shown us that we need that protection, security, and ongoing performance to help us get better. And start with smart. People you choose.
You've had some technical challenges with the system, though, haven't you, with your broadband?
Yeah.
And there's been a challenge for you as a business in both your locations, actually, which is quite unusual because they're far apart from each other. They're in different parts of Plymouth.
Yep.
But yet you seem to have the same poor broadband performance in both shops. And it's quite a challenge, isn't it, for you to overcome that as a charity?
That's the biggest issue that I think we would face if we were doing anything remotely, because the uplift speed, I think you said, upload speed, that's the issue. Everything else is fine, but we're just struggling with that. And as we've discussed earlier this morning, there's different options available. And as we then go into 2024 and with expansion coming, those are the bits that we can focus on. And, there might be a different way of doing things, which using people like yourself as the sort of knowledge base, we can then move on far more securely.
So as a tech business, I just wanted to squeeze in one more question.
Yes.
Because I'm a tech head.
Okay.
I just love technology.
Yeah.
I want to
You're talking to the wrong person.
Well, I've got to get out. I'm just slowly qualifying you to be technical.
Okay.
No, come a long way in the last 6 months. But no, I want to know over the next 2 years, what technical challenges do you think you might face as a business, as a charity? What ways are you looking to use technology? Maybe what challenges might you see?
Social media is the newest thing that we need to get far better at. You know, live videos, live streams, potential podcasts, talking to people and helping them get exposure, because not everybody can give it to us for free. And not everybody that we want to support us is able to do anything on those levels. But if we can give them something different and be able to say, right, well, we can give you exposure somewhere else if you help us and work through that way. Social media. I think the other side of it is the flexibility of remote working, things like that, so that our fundraiser can be that way. And then we work in an industry where cash is becoming a problem. A lot of people have the viewpoint that, I'll give you cash because that's easier to work for. It's not now. No. Unfortunately, we'll take it up till the day that whoever decides that cash is the dead thing. We will keep taking it because somebody somewhere will always have that money to spend, and I'd love them to spend it with us. Working with the card provider that we do at the moment, technology is getting to the point that market fees and transaction fees are where the money goes, and so we have to look at the next step of where we can help, because cash banking means you've got to fill in a banking book, stick it in a bag, transport that securely to the bank when they're open, wherever they're open, and that's becoming the more costly element. Card banking, piece of cake.
Even though there's a transaction fee and stuff like that, there's still
there's companies out there that are lowering the transaction fee to widen their gap, so that they will then begin to get the market share,
acquire customers,
and then they do it that way. Not to the point, I hope, of 5 years down the road they're going to start to hike their fee. But having that ability to be able to, the people we use at the moment, we have a card machine on the van, so they'll go, and if there's any disposal, the customer can pay that there and then. So that gets done. It keeps us transparent, so that there's no risk of the brand being affected by but I gave the driver 50 quid, so it's paid there and then and all clear. And then it gives us the ability to be able to go somewhere and someone says, I love what you do, I'd like to give you a donation, but I've only got my card. Oh, there you go. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. And it's all there, and that's where we are. So I think cash is going to become problematic. And card banking and availability of that is going to become where the trouble comes from market fees and merchant fees and connectivity.
So if there were any suppliers of IT, or any suppliers of media services, or any suppliers of card services out there that would like to help a charity, then
please.
A conversation.
Retail at hugsccc.com.
Brilliant. Well, there we go. But hopefully, off the back of this, you might get some answers to your tech problems.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of Podcast with Smart. Don't forget to connect with us on social media for a closer look into the work we do. And if you're eager for more exciting podcast content, be sure to hit that follow or subscribe button. Stay smart and stay connected.